All right, today we're venturing deep into the forest, but we're not actually looking at the trees. Nope, we're looking for the hidden power that controls pretty much everything, a silent, unseen force that's been running the show all along. Just think about that for a moment. What if the most powerful beings in the forest aren't those towering trees, but something hiding right under our feet? It's an idea that could totally change how you see the natural world. When we walk through a forest, we see all the obvious stuff. The majestic trees, the rustling leaves, the animals darting around. But that's really only scratching the surface. The real power, the engine that drives this entire ecosystem, is completely hidden from view, operating in the darkness underground. So let's pull back the curtain and meet these hidden sovereigns of the ecosystem. Yeah, forget the struggle for sunlight for a second. The true power in the forest isn't a single mighty tree. It's a vast, silent network, an underground web that connects pretty much every living thing. Okay, so let's dive into this network. What is it and how does it actually work? This is where the science gets really, really fascinating. The key to this whole system is a single word, mycorrhiza. It's this beautiful partnership, almost like an underground marketplace. The fungi, they're expert miners, pulling nutrients and water from the soil that trees just can't reach on their own. And in return, the trees pay them with sugars, the energy they create from sunlight. It's a perfect life-sustaining trade. So this slide shows the basic exchange, but I want you to imagine this happening billions of times, connecting every single tree in the forest. This isn't just a simple partnership, it's a massive interconnected web. It's what allows trees to share resources, survive droughts, and thrive in even the toughest conditions. But these fungi aren't just passive partners in a trade. No way. They are active managers. They are the actual builders of the very foundation of the forest. This quote is just perfect. Think about it. An architect doesn't just build. They design, they structure, they make sure everything works together. Well, that's precisely what fungi do for the forest, from the deepest roots all the way to the highest branches. Now, this slide here shows the incredible power of fungi as nature's ultimate recyclers. I mean, just imagine a forest without them for a second. Fallen trees would pile up for centuries, leaves would never decompose, and all those vital nutrients would be locked away forever. Fungi are the only organisms that can break down the toughest parts of wood, releasing those nutrients back into the soil and keeping the whole cycle of life turning over. So fungi aren't just doing one job, they're doing all of them. They're the demolition crew, tearing down the old to make way for the new. They're the nutrient bank, storing and distributing vital resources. And they're the supply line, feeding the living trees. By controlling all of this, they literally decide who lives and who dies in the forest. And this brings us to what might be the most profound idea of all. By managing the beginning and the end of life, fungi don't just control the space of the forest, they control its time. Just let that sink in for a moment. Timekeepers. Fungi control the speed of decomposition, which sets the pace for everything else, for new growth, for renewal, for the entire rhythm of the forest. They're like the silent conductors of this grand symphony of life and death. This timeline really shows how fungi are there from the very beginning to the very end. They help a tiny seed sprout, they feed it for centuries as it grows into a giant, and then, when it finally falls, they're the ones to gently return it to the earth, creating fertile ground for new life to begin. It's a perfect, continuous cycle, and it's all orchestrated by fungi. So the life of a forest isn't just random chaos. It's a beautiful, coordinated dance. And the one setting the rhythm, the one calling the tune, is the hidden, powerful kingdom of fungi. Okay, so this is amazing biology, but what does it actually mean for us in a practical sense? How can understanding this hidden world really help us? Well, the applications are everywhere. Forest managers can now use fungal patterns to predict the health of an entire ecosystem. It's like a doctor checking a patient's pulse. After a devastating wildfire, the first signs of recovery aren't new trees, but the return of specific fungi. And this knowledge isn't just for scientists. Gardeners are using it to grow healthier food, and even home composters are harnessing the power of fungi to turn their kitchen scraps into black gold for their gardens. This knowledge does more than just change our perspective. It changes our role. When we really understand the true foundation of a healthy forest, we can become more than just observers. We can become active, effective caretakers. working with nature's own architects to protect and restore these precious ecosystems. And just when you think you've wrapped your head around the power of fungi, here's one last thought to leave you with. What if this vast network isn't just for nutrients, but for information? What if the forest has a mind of its own? We're going to dive into that incredible idea in our next explainer. Thanks for joining us.